Hi everyone, it's Rosina. Today I'll be teaching you how to ripple stitch. We start by making a slip knot. To do this, we place the yarn over our first 4 fingers, open up our fingers, wrap around and through. Flip your fingers over, open up to a gap, pinch through, grab the yarn on the bottom, pinch through, pull up, and done. We then pull the tail end to make the knot smaller. We now need to chain. In your ripple stitch, you need to chain a multiple of 14. So let's do that. I'll be chaining 42 stitches. To chain, we yarn over. So yarn over is this process of putting yarn onto your hook. So we yarn over and pull this through. So we yarn over and bring our hook through our current stitch, like so. We'll do that again. Yarn over, we put the yarn onto the hook, angle it and move it so that we can bring this through our current stitch. So that's 2. Yarn over, pull through, 3. Yarn over, pull through, 4. Yarn over, pull through, 5. Those are 5 stitches. I'll go ahead and do my 42. Once we have chained our multiple of 14, we're going to chain 3 more stitches. This is our turning chain. So it's a multiple of 14 plus 3. We work into the 4th chain from our hook. So not this first one, not this one, not this V, but this V. You see these V shapes? What we do is we yarn over, go into that top loop, okay, and we have this formation. Then we yarn over and go through just the first loop. We yarn over through the first 2, and then we yarn over through the last 2. We'll do this 3 more times. We yarn over and go into our next stitch. So this next V. We yarn over, go through the first loop, yarn over through the next 2, yarn over through the final 2. So I said we're going to do this 3 more times, so that's 1, so 2 more. This stitch is called the double that we're doing, by the way. So we yarn over, go in, yarn over through the first loop, yarn over through the next 2, yarn over through the final 2. And 1 more, yarn over in the next stitch, yarn over through the first loop, yarn over through the next 2, and through the final 2. Now what we do is we do a decrease. So how the ripple stitch works is we have our peaks and we have our troughs. For the trough, which is what we're starting on, we decrease. Okay, we do 2 decrease stitches. Let's do 1 first. So we yarn over like we did before and we go into our stitch. So just like what we're familiar with. Yarn over and go through, and yarn over through the first 2. We stop here. We do not go through these last 2. Instead, we start our next stitch. So identifying the next V, we go in. We yarn over through just the first loop. Yarn over through the next 2. And then we have 3. To do this decrease, we yarn over and go through all 3 stitches. We have this sort of triangle looking formation. These 2 stitches we have become 1. This is what a decrease is. We are making less stitches from what we have. That's 1 decrease. Let's do the next. We yarn over, go in the next stitch. Yarn over through. Yarn over through the first 2. Yarn over into the next stitch. Okay? Remember, at this point, we do nothing with these 2. We leave these on our hook. So we yarn over into our next stitch. Yarn over the first. Yarn over the next 2. And then yarn over the next 3. And those are our 2 decreases, okay? Those are our 2 decreases. In the ripple stitch, we work in sets of 4. So now we're going to do just 4 normal double crochets. So to do this, we yarn over, and then we go into our next stitch, okay? Yarn over through the first stitch, yarn over the first 2, yarn over the last. So this is the normal double crochet we were doing before, right? So we yarn over, go in, okay? So then we'll do our final one as well. So this is now 4 stitches. And now what we do is we increase. So to increase, what we do is we go ahead and place 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So increase is making 1 stitch 2, decrease is making 2 stitches 1. Makes sense. Our next stitch we go in, okay? We do a double crochet just like we've always done, the normal formation, okay? Instead of going to the next stitch, we go back into the same hole, okay? This hole. We go in again. We yarn over and go through the first 2, then the next 2, okay? So we have this. We have an increase. We have a sort of triangle upside down look. It's becoming bigger. One stitch becomes bigger. We do this again. We yarn over, go in our next stitch. Yarn over through, yarn over first 2, last 2. So normal double crochet, and we do another one into the same gap. Like I said, we work in sets of 4. So we do 4 double crochets. Great. And now what we do that we've done 4 is we decrease. So it's all repetitive. So we do 2 decreases. Remember, we leave the last 2 stitches. That's 1 decrease, and then our next, so yarn over, go in, yarn over through. Yarn over through the first 2, leave these 2, and into the next stitch as well. Those are 2 decreases. We're going to do 4 double crochets. Okay, so that's our 4th double crochet now. And then we do an increase. To increase, remember, we just put 2 double crochets into that same stitch. So there are 2 into that 1 stitch. See that? There's 2 in the 1. And the next one is the same thing again. So 2 double crochets. Remember, 2 decreases, 2 increases. It's not just ever 1. Alright, now we'll do our next 4 double crochets. We did our 4 double crochets. We do our decreases now, okay? So I won't go through it again because we've already done it a few times. And now we go ahead and do our 4 double crochets. And then into our last stitch, we place an increase, okay? So we just do 1 increase in our last stitch. So we did 4 double crochets and now just 1 increase, okay? That's how it works. So we did an increase at the end, and there was also an increase at the start. This was by doing it wasn't an explicit increase because it was when we had to chain, but I'll show you why that makes sense now. So to start our next row, we chain 3. We turn our work around, and this, and now we do an increase in our first stitch. Now this increase is actually quite interesting in the sense that we're not putting 2 stitches in here. We are going to only put 1. This chain 3 counts as our first stitch already. This counts as a post. So all we do is we put 1 double crochet in here. Now to note, before we're going just in the top loops, now we go through both these, right? So you see these V's, we go through both loops and we collect the whole stitch. So you see, that's our increase on our first stitch. We always put our increase, and that's just 1. Don't put 2. This chain 3 counts as one of the stitches. Let's go. So then we do 4 double crochets like we did before. So this is super duper repetitive, which makes it such a lovely stitch. It gives such a beautiful look without having to actually be too overly difficult. Okay, so that's that. We did 4 double crochets, and now we do our decrease. Okay, so it's the exact same thing. Each row is the exact same thing. So that's 1 decrease. And then we do another decrease. Okay, now what we're going to do is we do 4 double crochets like before, and we finish and go on to the end of a row. All we do is we get our other colour, we'll make a little loop, right, just like that. Okay, and then we pull this through instead of our pink. And then we can do our chain 3 in the white. 1, 2, 3. And then we start with our white instead of our pink. Remember, the first stitch, we always go into that same stitch for an increase. Alright, we'll do our 4. And then we go ahead and then we'll do our decreases, so on, so forth. So I went back and forth and finished off my piece. I love how it looks. I think the ripple stitch is such a beautiful pattern. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel and we'll see you next time. Bye!